Game doesn't start for another 24 hours, and we're going to need you in the second half, and these people will show up. That's what West Virginia does. Now, speaking of showing up, last night college football did in a big way. There was a thriller in Colorado between North Dakota State and the Colorado Buffaloes. North Dakota State, obviously one of the top teams in D1 AA.
That's right.
Not D2.
Hey,
Not
get
D2.
it right. Get it right. I'm sorry.
FCS, son of a bitch.
And they're a very disciplined squad. And we knew that people that were potentially casuals to college football did not know about North Dakota State's greatness. But there is no way in hell that Coach Prime wanted his team to play on a Thursday night against a Dakota team on national television. And if I was Prime, I'd say, yes, I definitely wanted that. But some easier team would have been much nicer. Last night's game was phenomenal. I think what we took away from it was that North Dakota State is certainly a wagon, but Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are going to be a problem for everybody. Now, the conversation goes beyond that because they also have Jimmy Horn Jr., who was running wild. Both those guys had 7 receptions, over 100 yards. Shedeur threw for 400 yards and some. And that, what's being chanted here in Morgantown is being chanted on the internet at a very massive clip. They still seemingly have some of the same problems, at least in the first half, that they had last year. Offensive line was kind of getting bullied a little bit. The defense wasn't able to stop anything. Shiloh was taking cheap shots seemingly every single play, trying to set a tone. He got called for it. He stopped, I think. But nonetheless, this Colorado team was a spectacle. Shedeur takes shots like that, stands right up. I think he's a tough guy. I think he can spin it. I appreciate the way he goes about his business, but I don't know if what we saw last night leads to Colorado going to the college football playoff, and I don't know if what we saw last night leads to them winning 4 games, which a lot of people on the internet thought. I thought they were happy to get a win. We move along to next week to Nebraska, and we keep trying to stack some things, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, I think we found out what we already knew, and that's that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are 2 of the most electrifying guys in college football. It's just the way it is. But like you said, you're expected to win that game last night. It's at home. We knew, and you talk about the defense, like Shedeur said going into the half, he's like, hey, we have to score on every possession. So, I can't throw interceptions. We can't have 3 and outs. We got to clean some stuff up. But you're right. Like, you're supposed to win that game. We'll find out.
This catch is not supposed to be caught, though.
That was ridiculous. That was one of the best catches in college football in the last several years. But like you said, we'll find out next week what Colorado is really all about, because Nebraska, obviously under Matt Rule, like there's a lot of hype with them. Colorado's dogs going into that game. If they have a good showing against Nebraska, I think that kind of quells a lot of the doubt that people have.
That catch right there is up for catch of the year. There was a guy that caught a football earlier on this hill, one-handed with a camera, going to be up for catch of the year as well, as they were tossing the football around out here. But what Travis Hunter did last night, and there was people on the internet, and I saw people that I respect with big brains saying, this dude's a wide receiver. What are we doing?
Yeah.
He didn't make a couple tackles. He got blocked early, and I think people are like, he's not going to put he's a lockdown corner.
Yep.
He is not a lot of lockdown corners are being asked to go fill the run or go make tackles, especially if you're doing 120 plays.
Yeah, played every snap but 2 last time.
He is a freak show to watch. It is so much fun to see them play football. But once again, there's still a lot of questions to be asked. Pat White, as a man who led an incredibly successful offense for a long time, what are your thoughts on the Colorado offense and Shedeur and Travis and Jimmy and everything they're doing over there?
2, 5, and 12 are talented. I know they say 12 won't tackle, but I saw him come and plug a hole once. 2, timing. He has it down pat. He understands the timing of the offense. He throws a great ball. And I don't think people give him the respect or credit he deserves for his touch on his passes. And, again, like you said, he's a tough guy. He's going to stand in there and take the hit and make the throw. So they'll do great until they come to Morgantown.
Hell yeah.
As a guy who was a former D1 AA football player yourself, what did you expect from North Dakota State last night? What are your thoughts on Colorado's win?
Well, here's what I got to say. Colorado, it was NDSU. Hey, no disrespect. Listen, Tyler Roll, offense coordinator there last year, they have a stout run game with some of the best. All right, some of the best. All right. It's still 1AA. Okay, what are you doing, Colorado?
Oh, right.
You don't know.
It's good football. It was a good win.
What's a good win?
Any win.
Any win. So we're on that boat last year, huh?
Okay, just real quick, talking about any win. when we get the big win tomorrow, it's not going to just be talked about any win. It's going to be talked about a historic win. And the name that's going to be associated with it, let's talk about Colorado last night. And I know you and Coach Prime are obviously close because of Aflac, and this entire thing. What did you see from that team last night? And are last year's issues the same issues that they're probably going to have this year? That's what everybody on the internet's saying, Coach.
Well, I think that a couple things. First of all, I think they got better skill guys to go with the quarterback, which I think is going to be important. I think they need to try to improve their ability to run the ball because they didn't have much balance last night, which showed up at the end of the game when they couldn't take the air out of it and gave the ball back to North Dakota State. I do think their defense might be a little bit improved. Now, whether it's good enough, I don't know. But you have to be a really good defense to play with that kind of offense who has to throw the ball all the time. Just like they probably gave up 90 yards at the end of the game that the other team shouldn't have ever had the ball. So, I think they're improved. Are they improved enough to have a winning season? I hope so.
Coach, are you able to, with the modern day, and you got to experience it a little bit with the transfer portal and NIL, and I think they said 42 incoming players onto that Colorado roster. Are you able to make a flip in one offseason in modern football, you think? Just automatically flip everything you have? And because they didn't win a lot of games last year, which is being thrown out a lot last night after the way that game went against North Dakota State. Do you think with the way the transfer portal is, with the way they've utilized it, can you become a very successful program almost overnight with this transfer portal?
Well, I think the transfer portal helps because it gives you another resource to bring in players to the program. But the thing about the transfer portal is, are you bringing the right guys in? Are you bringing the right kind of guys in? Are these guys going to fit into your culture and do things the way you want them done? How are they going to buy into your organization? How's it going to fit in with the other players you have on your team? So I think when you have a lot of guys in the transfer, the transition of how those guys fit is really the most important thing.
Yeah, in picking the right guys and recruiting and in the transfer portal, I think you only have like a week to talk to some guys, right? Because they're making a decision. It's like, how do you know? How do you not know? I guess you just got to build an NFL factory in the state of Alabama, which this West Virginia boy was able to accomplish.